Alrighty, here we are, Ricky, back again on another Monday night family show. Ooh, welcome.
Yeah. How was the Lear market? You went to it.
Oh, it was pretty good. It's all right. It's sometimes you see nicer birds than others. I found I didn't see too many youngsters was overly impressed, not overly impressed with, but just nothing that really jumped out at me like, oh, I gotta have that. I'd really like to have that one. So you know, sometimes you don't just go to buy. They got to jump out at you, and I just didn't find there was anything that really jumped out at me.
I know some years ago, 4 years ago, you and I were there. There were some black checkers there I seen. Oh God, beautiful. But you didn't, it's not the same every year. Now,
Well,
what
it's
about the,
not the same every week, right? Because next week they'll bring some different youngsters, or somebody else will be there, because it runs for the next 4 or 5 weeks. So I think it runs till the middle of March, almost middle end of March.
yeah?
So you try it next week and you see again, and
Yeah, I know what when I was there with you, they had the buses there from people coming from England, but I guess they can't make it
well, the
now.
buses can come. It's just that the guys used to buy the pigeons and then they would play with them or race them, or they they made little competitions or whatever they did. The bus loads of English people, but now they don't do that because of the stupid country, which to me again makes no sense when they're racing races like Barcelona and that, where the pigeons got to go from Barcelona to UK. I mean, it's so ridiculous, but I guess they're doing that from the chicken flu or whatever the hell it is. But anyways, hey guys, again, it is the Monday night show. The show works best when you all participate and put your comments in. So yeah, that was the Lear Market, and I'll try it again this weekend again and see, and we'll go from there. And there's the big Doif auction this Saturday, so I'm going to go to that, and I'll post up these Lear markets are on Sunday, and the Doif auction is on Saturday evening, so there'll be lots of people there. I'm going to go and check that out. Also, we just did the match pair of Luke Van den Plas. Super nice pair. Lars really liked them guys, and you guys scored them very high. And we've got also the Peter Vandemer auction running. Sorry, I got the banner up there. Take that down and keep it more professional. There's the Peter Vandemer and Luke. Both these auctions running, all bids are in Canadian dollars. Luke is definitely not a big name, and Peter is a real big name in the Netherlands. He's won the most NPO races in the Netherlands. What can we say about that? That's why we have him at Feathers Elite, because good pigeons and gives directly from the best. Hey, Ricky and Ryan Milton from Hawaii, how are you? Welcome to the Monday Night Family Show. Well, Ricky, there was a photo that I believe I was going to post up, and I wanted to show you this, but okay, here it is. So I've seen some guys doing this, and I wonder how many people have taken the time to try this in their loft. And before I get to this, uh, do I think most Michael People asked? Do I think most races should follow the Africa Pro format? Well, Africa Pro took the format from, I'm going to say, from us. I'm not going to knock it. No, I think it's we had an 8 race series, we had a 9 race series, we had 4 300-mile races or 4 500-kilometer races. We do the play-by-play coverage. We were the first to do it. We did sprint series. We were the first to do it. If you look at it, Michael Peeler, we were the first ones in the world to do it. We were the first ones to do the live showing of the birds. We showed it all. I think Africa Pro did a very good job in taking what we did and then just putting $1 million behind it and go from there. Now, Mike Vanderyak says, I would like to see an old school OLR with just one race. Well, Mike, do you think any of the one loft races that are around are not old one school one loft or old school one loft races? I mean, I don't know. Now you want one race, Mike. So what does that mean? One race? You just want to take the birds 300 miles and just drop them off, or like how does that work? Can we talk? Antonio Rodriguez asked, can we talk about mob flying again? What is mob flying? That's a good question. Is mob
That's a,
flying a guy that knows nothing about what he's doing and sends 200 pigeons a week? Or is mob flying a guy that knows exactly what he's doing and sending 25 pigeons a week? Isn't that another way of looking at mob flying?
okay, so mob flying. A man that sends 100 birds, or what you say, 200 birds a week. And if those birds aren't properly trained, it's garbage. But the other fellow who sends 200 a week or 100 a week, that is a proper manager of those birds, he deserves to win. Or if somebody sends 25 a week and he's proper, he deserves. So,
Now,
you know,
I oh,
I seen people here in this area. They send 80 birds a week to the race. Okay, and you say, well, he's a mob flyer. Take a look at him. He's a mob flyer. Well, he, he didn't even take the first position. He took the fourth with one, maybe this. To me, he's a garbage flyer. But if a guy puts 200 birds in or 100 birds in per week, manages them perfectly right away, and he takes the first 50, hey, he's not a mob flyer. He's a winner. He's a worker.
now
That's the way I look at it.
now mind you, if you have 200 birds and you don't really have a clue what you're doing, your odds go up with getting a lucky bird, and I can get that as well. Um, I don't really like the term mob flying. I think people can do what they want. They can put in as many as they want. They can have as many lofts on one property as they want. Again, they're adding to the numbers, and when you beat them, it's good for you. Let's get to some of the comments. Josh Tribley. Ryan, you've been all around the world. How do I rank the Golden Doif auction? It's a pretty good auction. Again, I judge the auction though. You know, I can judge the auction on a lot of things. The people in the room, they're gonna have all the big celebrities. Well, that's a 10. How you get your liquor, you gotta buy cards. I don't like that. It's not my cup of tea. Um, the quality of the pigeons, that's the biggest thing. How is the quality of those pigeons? How they're displayed, I don't really think it's that good. And It's still a good auction. It's just, I mean, everything depends on the quality of those pigeons. I mean, that's the number one thing. First, it's the quality of the pigeons. The auctioneer's fantastic, but there's a few things I would adjust. Again, that's my opinion only. V&D Perez says, what's going on with Canada losing to the Americans? Well, Canada is Canada. They're it's hockey. What do you think? Canada is I'm not even getting into Canada hockey. When they got rid of Don Cherry, they lost Canadian hockey. Don't worry, Thursday night rematch. Oh, Josh Tribley says Thursday night rematch. Yeah, America will win on Thursday night. Mike Vandiak says, if I send 4 to 5 birds and my competitor sends 20, is he a mob flyer? Yeah. Well, what's the determination of a mob flyer? That's another great thing. What is a mob
Okay.
flyer?
Did Mike say the person was sending birds on his same truck?
Uh, I don't know. Mike's just saying if Mike sends 20, 4 or 5 birds and somebody sends 20, does that make him a mob flyer?
Uh, no. I don't care if that guy sends 100 or 200, 300. If your birds are in better condition, you have them better set up, that guy can't touch you. But if you're flying in a loser community, you're all the same losers. That's it. That's it. So, I'm just saying it's a lucky game. Would you agree?
Yeah. Mike Green says, what happened here? Oh, here we go. Mike Green says, one race, so get one hit wonders. Won't see what's the best bird that way. I agree with Mike. Why do you want to see a single race? Mike, what fun? I mean, what again? If we're just gonna do a single race, why don't we just take him training to 20 miles? Antonio Rodriguez says this is a sport. You don't see the Montreal hockey. Okay. Ian Sipple says there's no such thing as mob flyers in Ontario. All combines and clubs have limits. Yeah, and it's stupid and it's ridiculous and it's a joke. And same thing in Southern Ontario. They got 3 combines, the EOC, the up north, and the Niagara. It's all bullshit. They drive the trucks down the road with no pigeons, and everybody on that trailer, everybody on that trailer is afraid to fly against everyone else because they all got a bloody excuse. So there is no mob flying. Actually, in Southern Ontario, there's not really pigeon flying. It's called the losers make the rules up to make it good for them. I'm just using Southern Ontario because that's the only thing I can go by. Now, I'm sure it's probably like that in most spots of North America, but it's not real racing, it's pretend racing. Clocking limits, shipping limits, those guys don't want to go up with those guys, and those guys don't want to go up with those guys because I hate to say it, they're candy ass suck asses. Sorry about that. Don't tell me you're not. Show me you're not. You don't show me. Every year it's the same shit. Same small little combines that give 2 races from one spot. Blah, 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 blah. Let's see. Bradley Harper says, the losers always blame the mob flyers. Yep. Oh, that's another thing. That's why they don't do the mass releases because the losers are going to get dragged away. See, leading pigeons drag the mob because the dummies, like sheep follow. So when you're racing pigeons, you got to have leaders and not sheep. Wolves, not sheep. let's see what Mike Vandriek says. Limits on team size, but no limits on number of teams. Are you talking about a one-off race, Mike? You don't see the Montreal hockey team put 7 players on the ice and call it fair. Okay, so again, it's pigeon racing. You don't see pigeon racing's the only sport that has everything's equal first. You know, oh, I was at the Hoosier and I came 97th, but I was equal first. Or I was at the California Classic and I was, you name these races, equal first, equal first, equal first. That's the same shit as we're talking about because you can't give a first as a first because nobody will come back to your race. So you got a bullshit and candy ass it for everyone. But no, Montreal doesn't put seven players on against Toronto's 5. But I mean, is pigeon racing in North America? I don't know. What is it? And I'm using North America because that's where we are.
But
Everything's equal first.
I think we don't want to discourage the people here in North America. We don't want to. We're what you call. I call it virgin flying, right? A lot of people say, "Well, I just want to fly because I just want to have fun. I want recreational flying." Well, I look at it and I say, "Don't hurt your birds." That's 100% what they're doing. They're hurting their birds, right? Those things are race horses or whatever you want to call it. Get up and let's work. Recreational flying. Well, like they might as well have, I don't know,
Yeah.
bunch
Well,
of
Ian,
bunch of barn plugs. Have a bunch of barn plugs. Just let them out and just look at them. That's it.
well,
Recreational flying. I'm only a recreational person. Well, that's not pigeon racing. Don't say that you're a pigeon racer. Oh, I got racing pigeons. I put them out there. I race them. I race them. Really? Oh, I have a horse. I got him out in my
uh, uh,
stall, and I'm going to race him at the track. Oh, really? What kind of horse is it? Oh, it's a racehorse. Oh, yeah. He's been sitting out there. Yeah, I'm going to race him. Like, come on.
okay, so
What they say is pull your socks up.
okay, so hold on. Ian Sybil says there's only one guy with more than one team I know of in the combine, Mike. Well, I don't even know why the guy has more than one team. Everybody should be able to put as many birds on as they want, and they pay by the pigeon. That's all. That's all you do. Put as many pigeons on as you want, and you pay by the pigeon. Then nobody says they got more than one team. It's just one team. Put as many birds on as you want. $2 or $3 or $5 a pigeon. Load her up, and you
Put
all
her
have the
on
same option.
50 cents a bird. But then they're going to say, well, Johnny, he's got a lot of money. So he puts on 1,000 birds. Wow. He's got a lot of money. Yeah, that's it. But work with your birds and you'll do it. But who puts the work in? I know guys say, well, hey, I couldn't do it because I'm waiting for the drywall to dry, all the shit, I couldn't do it. You got to work with them damn things at least 8 weeks before you start racing. Then you're going to do it. What does Ian say about that?
I don't know. Ian can't answer that quickly. Can you? JD Teal says, can you only send 5 birds if that's all you can afford to take care of? A guy that can afford to take care of 20, that's his preference. That's correct. Josh Tripley says, winning a pool bird or a nomination bird is a real pigeon man. Yes, it is. But most clubs won't do pooling because most pigeon men don't want to try and pick their birds and they're too cheap to lose 5, 10, 15, 20, $50. Mob flying in a club and OLR is the same concept. Power in numbers, not quality. Well, you can have a big number and yeah, you might get a good bird, but a guy with a smaller number that really knows what he's doing, he should be able to beat you no problem. And a guy that really knows what he's doing with a big number of birds, that's where his mob will destroy. Because if he knows how to get that car to fire, that's when the mob flyer becomes deadly. And I'll say, most of the time, the guys that are flying multiple teams, they're not your recreational pigeon flyer. They want to get out there and win. They want to try it. And that's why they're testing their pigeons. They're putting the work in. They're doing the training. They're buying the feed. They're fixing the lofts. They're investing in the pigeons because they want to test their pigeons. So everyone looks at Mike or Gary or Ian or anyone. So he's a mob flyer. He wants to ship 100 birds a week. You know he spent $50,000 on birds. You know he feeds the best feeds. You know he just built an $80,000 loft. He's a mob flyer. Actually, what you're saying is you're jealous. You'll never beat him. If you give him 5 pigeons, he will beat your ass. Why? Because he's a pigeon racer, and you're a guy looking for excuses on why you can't win. That's it. That's all it is. Moving on. This is why you have rules. Mike Vanderyak says, true. Good evening, gentlemen. Good evening, Sam. David Tracy says, hello, everyone. I agree with Ryan that most OLRs have 1 or 2 possibilities, meaningful races. No, they don't have any meaningful races. It's just a pyramid of shit. 99% always tailwinds. Normally, the race before the finals is normally the real race. Then there's the final race, which is real easy. You normally see that. I think one-off races should be a minimum of probably 8 to 10 races, but these guys aren't going to want to do that. I don't think. Mike Vanderyak says, 3 guys in a club. Only one has a car. Good competition. I don't know, Mike. Sure. If the one guy has the car in the club but he don't use it, isn't that the same? What if the guy what if the guy in the club, 3 guys in the club, Mike? One guy has a car. The one guy that has a car doesn't drive it. The other guy in the club has a friend that lives 80 miles away and works in his town and takes his birds for him. And the other guy, his wife takes him out once a week for him, or his neighbor takes him out once a week for him, and he loft flies. But the guy with the car doesn't do nothing. He's sitting at home watching Blue Jays baseball on TV.
Hey, it's not my fault.
I love good competition. So now we want to punish a guy because he's got a car. Does any of this make sense? I mean, we really just find excuses of why we suck. You know, it's like,
Oh yeah, or like yeah, I know 100% what you're saying. It's like, hey, John, you got the money, you paid a guy to haul your birds. That's not fair. That's not fair now. Or you're retired, You're training every day, law flying every day. Oh, that's not fair. Wait a minute. I'm a guy that works 70 hours a week. I'm doing drywalling. I'm doing shit. I'm doing this shit. I'm doing, and I don't have a chance to train. I don't have, well, he's coming on the truck. Okay, that's fair. That's fair. Well, Johnny, the other guy, he's paid a guy to train the birds. He's doing the training. He's doing all the shit. Oh, now all of a sudden he's a mob flyer. All of a sudden he's a crook. You know what?
Well, this is what it is. I don't know. JD Teal says, my new club, pro club in Oklahoma City, we have three races: an A race of 5 birds, a B race of 10 birds, a C race of 20 birds. They say it's because guys can't afford to fly more.
Can't afford to fly what? More?
More. The guys that can't afford it, you watch what they feed them. You watch what they waste their money on. The other stuff. If they really want to, if you really want to do it, you'll find the money to do it. I think. I think it's
Why? I'm going to say, watch that video with Patrick. What's his last name?
books,
Fox.
books, like a book, just books.
Book, book, book.
Just say books.
From where is he from?
Right from this area here.
From where? Antwerp,
Yep, Antwerp.
Antwerp, Belgium. Flies with what? 12, 14
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
birds.
fly with 8 to 10 to 12 to 14 birds.
Yeah. Any kicks, but
All right, and you have to
and
think he flies
and
against the
there's
Flanders collection, shipping 200 birds. So and
yeah,
he
yeah.
does good.
He, yeah, he scores. Meanwhile, I hate to say it, but I hate to say it, people in this area, they go, well, I raised 40 birds and I'm right. Okay, I got into the start of the races and I just lost. I'm down to now 18. I'm going to stop. I have to stop flying. I don't
Now,
stop.
here's something.
To me, when I listen to this, see this?
Uh,
That's an idiot talking. He
well,
doesn't know what he's talking about.
okay. Here's something I think is fun. Antonio Rodriguez says, "Sounds like you don't like to play by the rules." I like the rules. Play by whatever rules you want to put up. Here's the thing: all these guys that talk about mob flying. Do you notice they want a 5 bird limit? They want an 8 bird limit. They want a 10 bird limit. They want maybe a 20 bird limit, right? But they never say, why don't we just do a 1 bird limit? Why not a one
That's
bird
it.
limit? That's really pigeon flying. Everybody can only send 1 bird.
One bird. No
One
other
bird.
birds.
No other birds.
No
But they never.
other birds.
You notice they never say that? They always come up with some cockamamie 5 bird, 15 bird, 25 bird. Oh, no, no, no. You can't have 50. 50's a mob. 25's not. 20's not. But 50, 75, 100's a mob. Why don't they ever say, let's fly with 1 bird?
One bird. And what
That'd
they
be really
do,
fun.
hold on. What they do say is you're allowed to put 20 birds on the truck or 30 on the truck, but you're only allowed to clock 5. Well, why don't we just say screw the 30 birds, 25 birds, 10 birds, whatever, only like you say, put 1 bird on. That means Johnny, John, Greg, Alfredo, Monterito, Condomino, whatever it is, you only got 1 bird in your friggin' basket. Let's ship that. Let's see how what they say is how big your nuts are.
Well, no, they
Can
would.
you? Oh, wait a minute.
They would
Oh,
never do
hold
that.
on. Hold on. Wait a minute. How can I pick at the one bird? I got 40 birds. I can't pick the one bird. Why? Because you don't know what you're doing.
All right, hold on. Josh Shipley says I wouldn't be interested in a one race series. I don't think you would. Chris says, "Good evening, Ryan and Richard. I've made it for the first time live on Monday night. Thank you, Chris. I'm glad that you're on. Hopefully, you're not tired. That would be a waste of good birds on one race. So, Mike, no one's liking. Hey, Ryan. Hope all's well. Tar Heel Classic says hello to me. I say hello to you.
If I
Yep.
can cut in, I'm going to cut in with Mike Vanderyak. He is a real professional pigeon flyer. So, Mike Vanderyak, I would like you to take one pigeon in your next race. You're coming up, old bird race. Just pick it out, put it in there, and say, I am going to win it. Or don't, I'm not going to put the pressure on you, Mike. I'm just going to say, my bird will be 10th out of the combine because you're a pro.
Okay, so Mike now just writes, if I send 10 birds, the other 9 team, if I send 10 birds, the other 9 teams together help my first bird fly faster and straighter like hockey teammates. No, 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 no. No.
No.
Uh, winning pigeons, they go to the lead. Whatever wants to follow them follows them. And sometimes that
All,
doesn't
all,
even
all,
happen. I
all I'm saying is, Mike, in your years of flying, you should be able to pick the winning pigeon. Send that one bird.
Well, Mike's not saying
That's it.
that. Mike's saying if he sends 10 birds, the other birds are going to bring his bird home. Well,
No, no, no,
if
no,
the other
no,
birds
no,
bring
no.
your bird home,
Well,
Mike, you'll never win anyways. That's what I'm thinking. I don't want followers. I want leaders. I want to bring your birds to
you
my house,
hold
not my
on.
birds go to your house.
You pick the first pigeon. Pick it. You know you're a winner. You are a winner. You know your pigeons? Pick that first pigeon. You don't need what you're saying
What?
is you need
What?
another hold on. You need another 5 or 10 birds from your loft to drag that pigeon home. No, you don't need that because you can pick that first pigeon. Are you right? Can you pick the first 10 in your combine? Can you pick the first 10 out of 30 to
All right.
come and drop into your loft?
Hold on a second. We got some comments here. Josh Tribley said, Ryan, you explained pigeon racing everywhere in North America. Yes, I did. Here's a fun fact. Tar Heel everyone wants a participation trophy. Tar Heel, is your race on clocking order or is your race on first drop? Let's see what he writes. Antonio Rodriguez says, equal first means that the birds came as a group on the drop. Yes, but how many races, big races, pay out on equal firsts? And I'm using in America. They almost all do it. Almost them all. I would say 85 to 90%. First drop, okay, it's great. It's first drop. But once first drop, it's first bird in the clock. That's who wins the race. But I see people, they're going crazy on first drop. Yeah, I'll even say, because in North America, it's first drop, it's first drop, it's first drop.
I
First
I
drop
don't go.
is
I don't.
a candy coated, feel good participation award BS. Anyways, Jerry says, all ours is about money, nothing else. Frank Leopold says in Quebec, $75 per pigeon, $75 per pigeon club race, and $1.50 on federation fees. No, 70 Quebec, it's $75 per pigeon no, race. I'm not understanding what that means. Is it 75 cents per pigeon race or $75? Normally you put the dollar sign ahead of the number. This one's a bit different. Sorry, Frank. Josh Tripley says everyone knows what equal first is. Going through the trap first deserves first. That's right. And you guys really want to take the air out of the tank? And I'll use the Hoosier. You put first bird in the clock, gets the $250,000. You'll see so many crybabies. Oh boy, they'll be crying. And it's the same thing. They're paying out position 300th. Is 300s worth anything? No, but it gets everyone back. And I'm not knocking. That's just how they set it up, and this is why it's filled up because everyone has a chance to make a little bit of money, but it's sugarcoating. Let's see. If the limit is 25 birds and you make your wife join so you can race two teams, they stack the deck. Well, can I ask you a question though? What if your wife likes to race pigeons? And what if your son likes to race pigeons? And what if your daughter likes to race pigeons? Now, are we now penalizing those homes that have that? Like Richard would fly pigeons and I would fly pigeons. That's not allowed. Are we stacking the deck? I don't. I think that's ridiculous. Hey, if the guy says to his wife, "Honey, I want to fly two teams of pigeons. I'm going to make you a member. You got to come to the club and do all this." Hey, she's in it. She's doing it for her husband, is she not? Maybe she likes it. Maybe she doesn't. I don't know. I think it's ridiculous. Just say on that property, you can fly as many teams as you want, as many lofts as you want. We're here to grow a dying sport. Doesn't that make the most sense? And again, what's the limit of 25 birds or 20 birds? What is the limit helping? Anyways, let's go to the next comment. Antonio Rodriguez, good comments though. It's good. It makes for a fun show. A flyer with 12 super pigeons trained, feeds the right and health, will beat a guy that sends 50 mediocre pigeons. I'm with David on this one. Mike Vaniak says a guy with a car, make sure the boundaries keep everyone else out of the club. The guy with the car, make sure that boundaries kept everyone else out of the club. Maybe my brain can't comprehend that one. The guy with the car makes sure that the boundaries keep everyone else out of the club. Okay. Uh,
So
so Antonio Rodriguez says flying pigeons is a numbers game. Do you agree? Um. Well, for Patrick Books, no. He can get 12 or 15 cockbirds to do damage against guys that send 200 birds, 150 birds.
and let me ask you something. Where this fella, where is he flying? He's flying in the mega of pigeon flying, right?
Well, he's
There's-
part 100 meters or 200 meters from his house or yards. He's got Leo Herman's, and another 100 meters the opposite side of his house. He's got the Flanders collection. Those are both world class lofts that send 100 birds a week. He can still compete and dominate against them. Now, sure. Those guys are top lofts. They're full-time pigeon men. They're playing pigeons with numbers. Yes. But if you take the big numbers away, they'll still be top. They'll still be up there. But of course, when you're putting the work in, you want more bullets in the gun because you're putting a lot of work in, don't you? I don't know. I want to test out the pigeons. I like to test out the pigeons. I think. Numbers game? I don't know. If you have a big number and you don't put no work in, it's just a big number that won't do nothing. I'm more of afraid of a guy that doesn't have the numbers but puts the work in and knows his pigeons. That's the one I'm scared of. That's the bigger number
Yeah,
to me.
yeah, 100%.
Josh Tribley says so. His wife joins and he races 50 birds. Happens all the time. Sometimes if it works for them, sometimes it doesn't. Okay. Randy says good evening. Good evening, Randy. Alvin says I have been flying old birds 15 to 25 miles when the weather is good and loft flying every day no matter the weather. Was told I'm going to burn them out before the racing season. Well, you got to see when your races are. But
But he's training 25 miles per day.
he's been taking them 15 to 20 miles when the weather is good and
Yeah.
loft flying on the other days.
So that's really very sensitive, not sensitive. 20, 15, 25 miles a day. I don't care if you fly him in the fog. I
Yeah.
don't care if you fly him in the rain. 25 miles a day. That's a joke. It's not a joke. It's good, but I wouldn't feel bad. I
I
think
don't
it's
think
positive.
you're going to completely burn them out at all. I mean, again,
You will,
you're
you
not
will
taking them
not burn them
you're
up.
not taking them 80 miles a day. Or 25 miles are going to probably take you anywhere from 22 minutes to 35 minutes.
Yeah,
That's
and if you
good.
want to take them 25 miles up the road, it's pouring rain. Good, let them out. Away you go. We don't like to do that, but it's not going to hurt them. 25 miles. I'm just saying that's just a walk in the park.
Okay, so find it hard to believe that it's cheaper to ship 5 birds than 20 birds when most trailers are set up for 2,500 plus birds. Well, they all set up the trailer for 2,500 birds, but they really only want to take the birds in the back of a pickup truck. That's all they really
Get
want to do.
yeah,
They've
get this one.
all these dum dums that have the combine, all the dum dums that run the combine. You know the dum dums. They got these big plans to put by it. Well, we got a big trailer. We're gonna have 25. We could hold 20. You can't hold 25 birds because you're too stupid to figure out how to put 2,500 birds on there.
Get
You
this
you you
one.
know what? You got the damn brochure that says this tin can holds 2,500 birds. Well, we don't want to put 2,500 on because Mike Vanderyak's gonna ship 150 and he's gonna whip everybody. That's all it is.
Hey,
You got a 2,500 tin
they
can.
go, hold on. They got the Up North Combine trailer can hold, if it's full, 5,000 birds. And they got this, they never haul more than 1,500 birds. They got these limitations. So basically, they're going up the road with this thing empty. Like,
Yeah,
uh, you
they
know,
they
yeah.
you know what? I don't know why the combine trailers don't sell spots on the trailer for people that need to take a couch up or a canoe up or shit like that because they can put that in the trailer going up. to make some money because they don't haul pigeons in it. They just haul an empty bunch of aluminum crates.
Yeah,
Anyways,
and they're paying some guy, and he's charging premium to haul it. Right? He says I need, 80 a dollar 30 a kilometer to haul this thing. You know what I mean?
so
What a joke!
so Antonio says all mob flyers just can't do it with a limit. Give me a limit, I'll fly with a limit. Give me it without a limit, I'll fly what I feel that I can handle. If I feel like flying 200 birds this year, I'll fly 200 birds. If I can only fly 5 birds this year, I'll fly 5 birds this year. I think it's the stupidest sport to put limits on. I think it's the stupidest sport for equal firsts. I think it's the stupidest sport that the trailer has drinkers and feeders on it, but they don't ship the birds on the day of basketing. The weather liberators pick days when it's good for them. There's so many dumb things in the sport, but yeah, I'm Antonio. If you think I'm arguing with you, you want to put a limit on it. You tell me what the limit is. I'll play. There's no problem with the limit. I just think a limit's ridiculous. What
Hey,
fun is a limit? You know what? In life, everything's a limit. There's a speed limit.
I say let's have a limit. One bird shipping
Well,
on the truck.
I'm
That's
wondering
it.
if we did do a one bird limit, how many guys would do it?
They can't. They
No,
don't know the
it's not
birds.
that they can't. I wonder how many will do it or how many will say, "Well, I'm not shipping. I can only send one bird and I've got 25 more at home." Oh well.
You can't. I'm saying they can't pick their birds. Can you pick your bird? Let's pick the birds. Let's have a
Ju-
5 bird limit clocking. No other birds. Can you pick your birds? Okay, wait. I'm so good. I have 30 birds in my loft. I've been training them, and I'm going to the races. I'm only allowed to pick 5.
Ricky.
Pick 5. Hold on. The other 25, I do this.
Yeah, but we're not saying we're
Well,
not
wait.
saying
I pull.
no,
I
we're not saying to do that. We're not
no.
saying to kill them. We're not saying to kill them. In
I'm
America,
saying
and Canada, because guys haven't been picking in pools and gambling week in and week out, it's a skill that you're not used to. It takes you time to learn how to pick them. So let me get to the comments. Josh says if you can't afford your hobby, you need to work harder. Antonio Rodriguez says it sounds good. Yeah. Listen, I like a limit or I don't like a limit, but I just don't think there needs to be a limit. I think a limit is. I think you know what. If you're gonna say to me you can only fly 5 pigeons, okay, I'll kick your ass with 5 pigeons because you want to know
hey,
what? It's more of a
yeah,
challenge now. It makes me want
hey,
to dig even more.
100%.
So I
Okay,
can look across from
okay.
the
Well,
guy and say a 5 bird limit. You wanted this bullshit 5 bird limit. I gave you. I took it and I beat you with it. That's how I would look at it. And then you know what I'd say at the end of the season? Can I go back to sending my 50 birds again? Because I like to test all my pigeons and get a view of what's going on here. Anyways, JD Teal says, Antonio, I'm sorry. It ain't about playing by the rules. If I pay my shipping fees, I should be able to ship whatever I want. And the
well,
guy,
okay.
the guy that can only ship 5, he beats me. Fantastic. I would rather
Hey,
fly
hold,
against 1,000 than 70 birds in a race.
hold on. Hold on. You got a bus. A
What-
bus.
we-
I'm just saying, our bus holds 200 people. they don't say, well, I'm sorry, but I say, okay, it holds 200 people. I'm going to bring my brother, my son, my mother, my grandmother, and all this. Hold on. You can only bring 2 people on the bus. It holds 200 people. Oh, wait a minute. I want to pay to get everyone on. No, no, no. You can't bring them on the bus. Only
Okay,
two. Wait,
we know
you got
this.
a bus. Okay, wait. So
Dad,
who's
we
got
know
this?
this. We know this. You're going in a circle. I don't need another scenario. Sorry about there was a accident at the airport. I don't know about the accident at the airport. Hopefully everybody's fine though. I have shipped Mike Vanderyak, of course. Mike has shipped one bird and topped the combine. Mike has done it, guys.
That is the
Mike has
kind
done it.
of person I really respect.
I knew Mike would
It,
have done it. I don't know about anybody else, but I know Mike could have done it. Hold on. If that's the rule, then I put the limit. Okay. Yeah. I get it, but I don't think in pigeon racing there needs to be a limit. Why does there need to be a limit? What is a limit really doing? I mean, let's think about this. In one-off races, big names don't put limits in. They put whatever they want in, and people still go and say he's got the best birds. Does anyone say, oh, most guys can only send 5 birds? That's a one-off race. In combines, what's the difference? Just open the trailers up and let people put on what they want. Maybe at the beginning of the season, Antonio has 150 young birds. He wants to start them off. He starts them off. Maybe I only have 30. I start them off. It's not my. Is it my fault I only bred 30 and Antonio wants to breed 150? He's serious. He wants to go. He wants to try his new pigeons. He likes racing a lot of pigeons. He enjoys pigeon racing. What's wrong with that? I wonder, horse trainers, how many horses they're allowed to have and race. They think they can have as many as they want. Crozier's in the house. Dave Crozier says it doesn't happen all that often, but I love when I ship 5 or 6 birds and I come out on top. Mike is right, Antonio says. Mike, you are right. Guys, Mike, one of the first times Mike ever got he's completely right. Good job, Mike. You're right. Robert Daughtry. My old bird season starts on the 9th of March. I send one bird, see what happens. Okay. Tracy's back with us. She's still living from her surgery. Hope you're feeling better. How are you feeling, Tracy? Oh, see, look, Tar Heel. First drop, gotta play the game. Do you see? He says it right here. Gotta play the game. Gotta play the game. Gotta play this bullshit game. I know how it is, Tar Heel. All it is giving everybody money. That's all it is. It's not about finding the best pigeons. It's about making bullshit easy races. So you get a big drop, so everyone goes and says, the Pioneer was great. The Tar Heel was great. The Hoosier was great. Oh, it's all great. Blah, 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 blah. But in reality, all it is exactly what Tar Heel says. I gotta play the game. I got to give him respect. At least he answered it the right way. Tracy, how are you feeling? Alan, way back when I was young, each member sent 25 birds per race. The trailer was full. That limit has remained for 50 years. Yeah, but Alan, I bet you the trailer got bigger, didn't it? I bet you they tell you now that the trailer can hold double that, but you still got the same stupid limit. Ricky got cut off. I don't understand people applying human reasoning to animals. Sorry, Josh, either do I. Sometimes, some of them, I don't know. Dave's Tracy going good, healing well. Michael Peevler says, healing nicely. Peevler says, sweet. Then we need to grow up and move. Why would we need to grow up and move? I don't understand that one. We need to grow up and move because of why? Because of a shipping limits? We don't know where Ricky went. I think Ricky Ricky got disconnected. Something happened to Ricky. Maybe someone called him. Then you need to grow up and move. Okay. So Josh says, okay, here it is. Using me as an example. I personally like to keep 30 pairs of breeders. I send out to all our clubs, or 4 or 5. I am constantly breeding a new birds to my cross in. Okay, wow, it's really long. So I constantly testing my birds so I can afford to do this. Right. You can't have 5 pair of breeders. It's not going to work for them. That's not going. That's not going. This. That's not.
Hello.
Yeah, you're back. Okay,
Yeah.
hold on. Let me get
So
you back.
I got back here.
Sometimes that happens, Ricky. So, Antonio
So
Rodriguez says that's not going the sport. That's discouraging other people playing by the rules. Okay, so yeah, you know what, I don't know, Antonio. It sounds like I don't know. Whatever rules you guys want, I don't know. I don't know. To me, it
okay,
just
so it's like okay. Let's talk about this EOC combine. Going to give you an example, right?
I don't really want to get in. Like we're
No,
just we're
let's
just we're
just say
just
I'm
we're
not even going to talk about that name of this combine. But okay, I've got a bunch of pigeons, and my daughter, she wants to fly them, and she's training. I'm training them for her, and
what does this have to
they're
do?
all her diamonds. Every single pigeon
Okay, so go
is a
on with it.
diamond. Okay, but wait a minute. I just found out all my diamonds, I can only clock 5. What
Okay,
about the other ones?
that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about club and combine, but I'm saying, why does there have to be a limit? Why does there have to be a limit? Why? Because it discourages people? Does it not discourage somebody that wants to fly more birds? Can't that person be discouraged?
I don't know.
Isn't it discouraging both ways? So we say, well, you can ship as many as you want. The guy that wants to ship 100 can ship 100. The guy that only can afford or only wants to play with 50 or 20, he can play with that. Doesn't everybody get discouraged? And then the guy that's discouraged ends up getting his wife involved, and she has a team, and then you get in a fight at the club because then you say, "Well, your wife doesn't like flying pigeons, but you got her. You built another loft. Well, the rules say that my wife can fly pigeons, or my son can fly pigeons, or my daughter can fly pigeons." Then that's breaking. Like, I'm just saying, if you just get rid of that bullshit rule and say fly what you want, pay accordingly. And you know what? Hey, your first 25 birds is this amount. If you go every bird you go up, it goes up $5. If you get over 50 birds, you go to $10 a bird. You get over 50 birds, it goes to $20 a bird. That's it. Just up the price.
You're 100% right. And the
Crozier
truck
says,
gets
Crozier says, Quality over quantity. I almost read that wrong. Very interesting, this live, Ryan. Well, it's an interesting live because think about the discouragement. You're telling somebody now, oh, they're not allowed to fly as many birds as they want. For what reason? Because the other people don't want you to fly a big number because they don't have the birds, they don't have the time, they don't want to take care of them. They're not the same into it, maybe. I don't know. The more birds
Yeah,
you test, the more you find out too. If you're a real pigeon flyer. Hold on.
100% right.
Robert Daughtry says, I'm trying the one bird in my old bird season starting March 9th. Good luck, Robert. I've got a 100-mile wide combine front. Numbers matter for the pull. It's double-edged sword. More birds is more money. Buys who flies 3-4. Club sends 100 birds. 100 birds is a mob flyer.
But if your birds are better trained, better worked, better, and they're out in front of that group, that 100 birds means garbage. Garbage. But if your birds aren't worked and trained the same way, they're going to get in the back of that 100 bird group, just going to follow them home. But
Right.
if your birds are out of that truck and they hook, those 100 birds are garbage. Gone.
Okay.
Just
So my other question is the wind does play a factor as well in some combine races. 100% it does. But
yeah.
I do think a guy that sends 100 birds can get beat by a guy that sends 25. If the guy that sends the 25 has everything set up right, he can beat the guy with 100. If the guy with 100 is got 100 pigeons and he's not putting the work in, you're going to beat him. But if the guy with 100 pigeons is putting the same work in as the guy that has the 25 pigeons, it's going to be obviously tougher for the guy with 25 pigeons because the other guy's got 4 times the pigeons. But if it's unlimited clocking or unlimited shipping, the guy with the 25 pigeons, he could have had more pigeons. Maybe he doesn't have the house size, the loft size, the time, whatever the story is, he doesn't have it. And that's where there's only one limit: one bird shipping. That's it.
Yeah.
Then there's no problem. Then it's not 25 birds, it's one bird. Oh, Josh says, where is this? Josh is questioning it. Ian, it's cheaper to ship 5 than mean cheaper for guys to only afford to take care of 5 birds. Is what are they saying? Because they lose pigeons.
Hey, it starts when you're raising young ones. And I heard guys say, I raised 50 young ones and I lost them all down to 20. I'm out. I can't fly. To me, garbage.
Hey, listen to this one. My man here, I think he's from the UK. He says, we got an 18-wheeler trailer. We have on the regular over 3,000 birds on it. So that's good. That's fine. And Mike Vanderyak, listen to this one. The NNRPA trailer holds 3,400 birds. The UNC trailer holds 2,700 birds. Their new limit is 30 birds per basket. Yeah, but Mike, there's no 3,000 birds on that trailer, and there's no 2,700 birds on that trailer. But it's nice that the trailer does hold that. Put the extra birds in as trainers. Okay, now here's a question for you. Put the extra birds in as trainers and put no limit on. Okay, so put a limit on. So why don't we do this then? I'm good with this. Why don't we do this? I'm gonna meet Antonio Rodriguez in the middle for the limit flyers. So it's fair for everyone. One bird goes to the main race, and everything else, you can put as many birds on, goes as trainers. You have a trainer race. How's that? Is that good? And you know what everyone will look at? They'll look at the trainer race because you want to know what they'll say? The trainer race had 3,000 pigeons on it, and the other race only had 300. Anyways, Ricky, are you all right?
Yeah, I'm good.
Okay. Too
So
many is in a club and not enough. The we's and the we's let the L's control. Let the losers control everything. I don't. You know what? I don't know if people that have limits are losers. I don't understand why they got limits. I can't figure out why do we need to have limits? Here in Belgium, there's no limits. There's no limits. And then everyone says, well, the Belgian pigeons are the best. The Belgian and the Dutch pigeons are the best. Okay, well, because they're flying against the most competition. But only in North America, we got to make up a limit. But they never make the limit to one bird. Why? Because those guys that make the limits, if they play with one, they get smoked. They still get smoked. I have a feeling it's going to be a smokage, either any way you cut it. If you're a pigeon nut job and you really want to win, you'll figure out that way. Anyways, what is the point of having a trailer? And Randy says this. What is the point of having a trailer that hauls 2,500 and then put limits on how many people can fly? Seems counterproductive. Yes, all these trailers that hold 2,500 in southern Ontario, they're lucky to have 1,200. Because losers cry about mob flyers, says Josh Tribley. I like to do that one bird. Sure, fun to do the one bird. Who wouldn't love to do the one bird? I am in for the one bird. I'm in for the one bird. I'm in for the 100 birds. I'm in for the I don't care how many birds you ship. I just don't think there needs to be a limit. I
and we
don't
have a
think.
pick we have a pickup truck that actually holds 100 birds. That would be 100 flyers.
Yeah.
One bird.
Think about how much the cost would come down, eh? Everything would just be almost free.
But then, hold on.
Yeah.
People will say, well, I raised 50 young ones. What am I going to do with them? Well, you're the best, man. You pick your one bird. Pick it. Pick it. Well, it's going to be pretty hard. Well, I can't pick it unless you know, right?
But can I ask you, what fun would that be?
There's no fun.
Do you have to eat while we're doing this?
No, I'm chewing gum.
Oh, okay. What is it, Antonio? Antonio's on fire tonight.
Okay, wait.
Every sport
Everyone's getting
has
hungry,
rules.
right? Hold on. Hold on. This show is brought to you by Rim Rib Market.
Okay.
Juicy ribs.
So
Go
hold
get your
on.
own
So
ribs.
okay. So every sport has rules. People always find a way to bend rules. Your OLR, one bird, see how it goes. Have your OLR one bird. See how it goes. See how it goes. One bird, sure. Hey guys, it's one bird. It's $2,000 a bird. There you go. Let's make it big time, and one bird. I'm fine with one bird. Do you know how hard it is for people to pick one bird?
Wait a minute. You
And then
know who I am? Hold on.
everyone's gonna say that race is shit. They only have there's 50 guys in the race, only 50 birds. That's what they're gonna say. That's what they're gonna say. I know that's what they'll say. Am I against it? I'm not against it. I'll fly. One bird? Sure. You'll hear them cry though. And you'll see. Everyone will say, well, there's no prize money in that race. I'm not sending one bird. But yeah, Antonio, in life, everyone's trying to bend the rules. I think that's a life thing. Do you think everyone's playing by the rules? The speed limit says do 100. Antonio, are you always doing 100? Because I know I'm doing 105 sometimes. Sometimes if I'm late, I'm doing 130. Sometimes I don't stop at a stop sign. That's just driving in a car. Take a look at in life how many people are trying to bend rules. Maybe we should take some of the rules away, the nonsense rules. I don't know. But yeah, one bird, I'm good with flying one bird. Guys, how many people want to play in a one-off race where you're only allowed to send one bird? Post in if you're
And
interested.
excuse me, what's the price? $1,500? Two
No,
thousand
no,
bucks?
no, 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 no. Just make it exactly what it sounds like. $100 a bird, one bird entry.
Hmm.
See how many people come. Or make it $1,000 a bird. See how many people come.
I'm
Give it the
looking at my side
cheapest
of the fence.
way and the most expensive way.
I'm not going to be hauling 100 birds for $100 a bird. Forget it.
We're not doing that. I'm not saying we're doing that. I'm just saying give people an option. One bird per guy, $100 a bird or $1,000 a bird. You guys pick what you would go with. I don't think you get any guys either way.
There's nobody around that could actually go and pick out of. I raised 100 youngsters. I'm going to send that one bird.
Okay.
Same as you raise 100 youngsters, say, I'm going to send five to that race. Well, are you that good to pick five out of 100?
So
Pick
I think
five out
I
of
think
50?
I think Antonio wants to fight JD in a pigeon race. JD will ship the next week 100 until he beats me. Jerry says you have to remember that every city has bylaws, and you can have a farm in your backyard. Oh, yeah. This is the next thing. Now I gotta worry about people that live in the city, right? And their bylaws. Well, we could go this the other way too. What about the guy that lives in the city that's not allowed to have pigeons and he's a pigeon flyer? Should we all get rid of our birds because he can't fly? Or you know what I'm saying? It's not fair to everyone. I don't know. Jerry, I get what you're saying, but hey, there's a
You
guy.
know the old.
How many people living in a city in New York City or in Toronto or Chicago, right in the city or in their neighborhood, and their bylaw says they're not allowed to have a pigeon, but they're a pigeon flyer. They really want to fly pigeons. Do they go to the local pigeon club and say, you guys aren't allowed to have pigeons because I'm not? Right? Is that not fair? Like, is that's kind of fair, right? Like, shouldn't everyone get rid of their pigeons? I think so, because this guy here, he lives on the other side of town and he's not allowed to. You know what everyone says? Tough shit for you, man. I feel bad for you. One day you're going to have to move. And you know what everyone does? They put their pigeons on the truck and they go and race. They forget about him in a minute.
Yeah, you're right.
Milton says, my club, the day they put a limit is the last day I'm racing. Okay. Bullshit to limits, says Chris. Antonio and Mike should start a club. Come on.
I know this fella said, when they put a limit, I'm out. Soon he starts winning and really winning, there'll be a limit. And that to me is cheap out for these people.
But
right?
so my question is, now let's just take a look at the Milivex. Okay? You've got Mirko, which is Darko's father. He's a pigeon flyer. They got Darko, that's his son. He's a pigeon flyer. He has two twin boys. Now, if all four of those guys that live in that house, they each have a loft and they're flying pigeons, and the limit's 25 birds, are they cheating?
No,
Well, yeah, they got 100 birds coming to their loft. Aren't they?
no,
They're not. Are you sure? Because according to, I think, to everybody here, that would be cheating. I don't know. I think it's like, again, I think it's just a way to. Hey, you know what though? On a weekend, I'm great with saying, "Hey, this is going to be a one bird race, and we have another race with the big group." Sure, I'm good with that. I just don't understand why there's got to be a limit. Or I'm good with having the main race, and you have a pick bird for however much money you want, a pool bird, or your pick first three nomination birds. Go ahead.
yeah,
Anyways,
and if your first bird on the main race, he can also get points on the pick. Do you know what I'm saying?
right. And Mike Vanderyak says we have a shipping limit of 30 birds per race. The trailer is full capacity. Now, if your trailer only holds 500 pigeons, okay, you put your shipping limit on. But we're looking at trailers like the Up North Combine, and I'm using that tin can same with Mike Vanderyak. The trailer holds 3,400 3,000 birds to put 500 birds on. Why is there limits there?
I would have to say they're losing money big time. They're paying that fellow to haul the truck, which it could be full capacity. They're paying him big money, and they're only loading the truck a quarter. What a joke. What a joke. It's like having a little business and you have, you know, 10 people working for you, but you can only actually keep 3 working. You're wasting your money. The trailers are wasting their money.
Okay, so Antonio says that's bullshit. So I don't know if I don't think Antonio's on our side tonight, but that's okay. We're not all going to agree to disagree. I'll fly against Antonio with a limit. I'll fly with him without a limit. I'll fly with one bird. I like to fly pigeons. If they go to a meeting, I'll be the first one to stand up and say, I don't give a shit how many pigeons anyone wants to send. I'm all for it. If you want to put a 25 bird limit on, okay, and you want to charge $3 more per bird or $5 more per bird, please let me know. Because, hey, you know what? Maybe it's my hobby. It's my lottery tickets that I buy. I like to buy a lot of lottery tickets, you know? And I want to put them in every week because I get a thrill to watch my birds compete.
But you
Anyways,
know what? What happens there is you go, what happens is, okay, you got a 25 bird limit, $3 a bird after, and then you go, well, that guy there, he's got a lot of money. He just put in an extra 80 birds. That's not fair because he's got the money. You know what? Work your butt a little harder and beat that sucker. Am I not, is that not right?
yeah. Okay, wow, we've been on for an hour and 22 minutes. This has been a good conversation tonight. Man, we fired this up. Not only, Alan says, not only trailers got bigger, but membership dropped. If the limit is 25 per race, you don't need to keep more than 50 flyers. So Alan's saying we should get rid of some of the flyers. And Mike Vanderyak says, I don't know if Mike's on Antonio's side. Antonio could be against me or us or everyone. I don't know. I'm kind of, maybe because it's late, so I'm not taking anything personal tonight. But Mike says, if a club mate ships 200 pigeons, I only have to beat one, his first one, home. There you go, Mike. That's the way I think about it.
That's right.
David Tracy says, there's no limit in our combine. That's a good combine. Elvis Cruz says, when your loft is at the short end and there's only one loft, and all the other lofts are in the north, then more birds chances are less. I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm saying,
I don't know.
yeah, I'm saying, I think he's saying it, he's at one end and saying it, he's at one end and the other, or, you got to ask him, what is the distance? Like,
Listen. When you're on the short end, roughly the headwind's going to help you. When you're on the long end, roughly the tailwind's going to help you. But if you know what you're still doing, you can still compete on both ends. Donnie Lee says, every club that has a limit are just scared of competition. More doesn't mean they have the quality. Gavin says, limits are grandfather clause. Laugh my ass off. Uh, Mike Vaniak says, the wider the front, the less pull to any one particular line of flight, except for when the wind. If the wind goes to the east and you're in the west, you're going to get them, or vice versa. So I guess quality over quantity. I guess this means 3 pair and never move forward. After those birds age out, what are these guys going to do after 10 years? Not having a breeding loft. If you're not moving shit out to bring new shit in, you are at the bottom of the sheet. 20 bird limit, then that's the rule. So Antonio, in Antonio's club, guys, I'm flying in it. I've signed myself up. I will fly 20 birds in Antonio's club. I just have a question, Antonio. Is Richard allowed to fly 20 birds in the club as well? We're not allowed to fly in any club in Canada. So we're just going to ask because I like to fly and I like to kick Ricky's ass. That's the only guy in the club's ass I want to kick is Ricky's. Antonio, can Ricky fly 20 in the club and I can fly 20 in the club? Because we're in. Just sign us up. Where do we sign? Mike Vaniak says numbers mean nothing. So Mike and Antonio aren't on the same page on this one. Uh, Again, Elvis says wind is the main reason here in racing. Wind does set the pull pretty good. Okay, V&D Perez says, if I lived in an area that I could fly more birds, I would. Okay, so V&D even wants to fly more birds, but his area they're not allowed. It's a stupid rule, but you're going with what's in your area, so that's fine. Elvis Cruz, so why race? Love to keep them. See? Love to keep them. Mike wants to have a Wednesday one bird club. Okay, Mike. Mike, we're in with your Wednesday club. Mike, you're gonna do the pickups. Make sure it's cost efficient. And yeah, we're in for the one bird club on Wednesdays, Mike. Mike's gonna do the one bird club on Wednesdays. Cost efficient though, Mike. Cost efficient. What else we got here? When the competition makes mistakes, pounce. Don't be scared. Be prepared. Wankers. Okay. Limits is sad, says Chris. No limit in Quebec. It's 75 cents per pigeon during club races and $1.50 per pigeon for federation races. There you go. How's that going, Frank? Do you have a lot of mob flyers? The most famous
I think
OLR
that's
of all
great.
time was one bird for 1,000 with 2 backups. Yeah, Mike, we know what happened. And Sarah Blackshaw took all the money. We know how that one worked out, Mike. Chris Marshman says one bird can get picked off by a hawk and then you're eliminated. Well, then everybody's the same. Let them cry. It's gonna be everyone's best. Okay. Randy says agreed. Limits in a dying sport is ridiculous. None, says Marshman. I'll pass on the one bird OLR. Mike's not in the one bird OLR. Why do they want big numbers for OLRs but limit clubs? Yeah, there you go. That's right. That could be the comment of the night. Read it, guys. Read it. Read that one. Why do they want big numbers for OLRs? Like, why? Like, let's just think about this. Why? Big numbers for a one loss race. The money's big, it's more prestigious. But do you say, like, that's fair that Mike Gannis sent 150 to the race, but I could only afford 5 or 10? Donnie says at one bird club he's laughing. Antonio, you're not on my level, bud. Get you some wins. Never heard of ya. Plenty know who I am in the States. Okay, well, hey, you know what? Everyone, listen. Listen. Everyone has an opinion, and we're all not going to like everyone's opinion. JD, I know. I know. I got to say, I'd like to fly against Antonio in whatever way we got to fly, and I hope I can fly against him with a 20 bird. I hope I can fly against him in a one bird. I hope I can fly against him with an unlimited bunch of birds. I see a little bit of their points. Doesn't mean I agree to disagree. Everyone has an opinion. It's okay. John Willis. For the fun of it this year, let's each fancier select one bird for the 100-mile race at a $100 entry fee. Perfect. We can do that. Ricky, we got to get our one-off race up. Perfect. We can do that. Ricky, we got to get our one off race up. I think by next Monday, we're going to post it up. Antonio says yes. I don't know what he's saying yes for. I think, oh, wait. Antonio says yes. Ricky, you and I can both fly in their one bird club. We've been allowed. Antonio is taking us on. Now, wait a minute, Antonio. I just want to
Good.
mention Ricky's going to be flying out of the Twisted Sister, and I'll be flying out of the red or the blue loft. Okay. Robert Daughtry says, have a question mark. Is possible for a club member to beat me by 25 miles? He wins and gets second. Is it even possible? I have a okay, he has a question. Is it possible for a club member to beat me by 25 miles? He wins and gets second. Is it even possible? That's a trick. What's the question, Ricky?
He wins.
Is it
25 miles what?
okay?
Over?
Is it okay? Let's read the question again. Is it possible for a club member to beat me by 25 miles? He wins. He
Okay.
wins.
Or like would be
I get
overfly,
second.
right?
Is that even possible? Sure. I don't know. I guess
Yes.
it is. Yes.
Yeah. It's overfly, right?
Yeah. Jeff Anderson says, good evening." It was Mike Green, not Vanderyak. Okay. That doesn't change. The rule is there's a limit. Okay. Antonio, I'm getting the limit, guys. But the question you got to ask yourself, Antonio, is can a guy find a way around the rule? So if the club or combine says your wife can fly, your son can fly, and your daughter can fly, and he flies, is he breaking the rule? I don't think he is. But in reality,